Hi everyone, so I've come today to do a little kind of craft with me video. I am going to make a single signature journal. Not going to decorate it or anything because I don't know how I'm going to decorate it yet, and I kind of just do like to get on with doing that, head down and just get on with it once I've got the signature made. So this is just basically me showing you papers that I've picked. I don't always do it this way, but today I'm doing it this way, and how to make a little journal, a single signature journal. If you want to make a bigger journal, like with more signatures, you can just multiply what I've done here, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, if you want to make a bigger journal. And obviously you can change the size of it. I'm going to do roughly a traveler's notebook size signature, which is approximately just over 8 inches by about 4 1/4. I'll give the exact measurements in the description box or on the screen or something like that. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the papers that I've picked out. I typically go for kind of the same thing. There is a mixture of coffee dyed, digitals. If I've got book pages and music paper, I will use that, and that is exactly what I'm using today. So my book pages are as so. Got this, that was what I got when I went on holiday to Scotland. We've got an Edith Holden book page, and we've got this is an old mathematical book. Let me see what it's called. What's it called? Mathematical Methods for Science Students. That's what that's called. Now I do have other books, but they're so brittle when you fold them in half they just tear. And I know you can washi tape them up if you want to do something like that, you can, but I'm using them books for like other stuff. Then I have got these like French ephemera pieces. That's from the Old Design Shop. This is from Bohemian Crafting, and that is from Tailor Made Journal. So that's that lot. Then I've just got my typical 2, sometimes I'll bring in more than 2 plain coffee dyed papers. Then we've got some squared, then we've got some lined, and then I'm going for a blue theme, and I have got 2 of these printed because one is going to be my cover or part of my cover, and this is from the Faded Impressions, and it was a group freebies from Out With A Bang, and I absolutely loved that, and that's what I made my project with that. It was a letter document folder thing. You can find that in my playlist called Craft With Me. So anyway, I've got 2 of them. I think this is Artie Maze. It's just different shades of blue, basically, as you can see. That one kind of looks, now I'm looking at it, kind of looks a little bit more on the greeny side, but still it will go. You don't want everything exactly the same colour. And that is ever so light. I don't even know if that's picking up. It's blue with these little white flowers. That is from Angela Kerr, and this is one of Artie Maze's as well. So as you can see, I may actually just be keeping that as my signature and using these to decorate, but we'll see as we go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start folding my pages, and we'll set that there because that's rather large. I particularly always start with my coffee dyed paper. Let me just find a bond folder. Now, as I said, that isn't going to be that size, but I'm not worried about that at this precise moment. I'll just fold my papers. What I am going to do, this is my guide as well. Once I come in, I think, okay, I'm going to score that at like 10.5 centimeters, which is roughly 4 1/8 of an inch. And that's my middle piece. I'll keep that. That'll get used for something else. And let me just see. That is roughly about 8 1/4, but what I do want it at is 8 1/8. Okay, so that's then how I start working. Sorry, I'm putting it kind of around the other way because obviously that's just how I work. And we will fold that. Now, if you noticed, I haven't coffee dyed the digital stuff. I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm not getting, like, I kind of like the blend of you know, the coffee and the white, you know, it kind of all just flows, doesn't it? I mean, and also I may actually trim that down a little bit more, but we'll see as we go through. And I may use some of this, I don't know yet. I may use just parts of it. See, I kind of like that. I might just use a little bit of that. You don't always have to use a full page in, you know, in something. So that, and if I fold that back there, I can then tear that off. By tearing it, it gives you a little bit of a distressed look. So that's that. And then obviously this, I can go in and make other things with that, pockets, tags, whatever I choose. Whatever. Right, so I'm just looking at what I've got. It's not, you know, I don't always find this easy, like marrying everything up together, but thinking, do I want too many papers, not enough space here. Oh, I thought I was running the wrong way, but it's not. I think I might actually put some lined paper in there, and we'll just fold that. I'm not particularly worried about when, as long as my middle page, everything is kind of lined up with that or slightly in, it doesn't really bother me. And this is where I'll maybe just come in with a pencil and just draw a little line there, and I'll take that out, and again I'll just use my ruler. I was going to say mirror, I don't know why I had mirror in my brain then, but I did. Right, so that's that. Then we can come in with that, and when I'm folding these back, this gives opportunity for not only just a flip, but for you to add additional things to that as well. Like once it's in there, when you get around the other side, you can just keep that like that, but then you could add something else on there, like a pocket, so it becomes more than just that. Becomes more than just that. So that has got, I don't want to, I'll go for anything between 10 to 15 pages per signature, but it doesn't mean that I fill every single page up, because that just adds a lot of bulk to, well, everything basically. Let's see, do I want that in there? Probably not right now. Now I'm just gonna see what that is when I fold it that way. Or should we do it that way? No, I'm going to fold that in half. Like I said, that is from the books that I got when I was up in Scotland. I got them from a place called Helensburgh. I went there. And the last time I was there was I was a child, like with my parents on a day trip, because I used to live up in Scotland before I moved down here, and my mum and dad moved us down when I was 14. Right, so I just want that in a little bit from there. Oops, I think I went skew if there. I'm scared in case the my blade rips the paper, because it tends to do that sometimes. So let's see. Perfect. And like I said, I'm not bothered that that's not like meeting right up with that, because I like the tabs and I think that's not quite straight. So let me just try and do that a little bit straighter. Yeah, I can see where it's not. It's just a tad as well. Just there. Scissors doesn't want to grip it, but yeah, I'm just scared in case, because sometimes I go to cut and it gathers it all up and it's annoying. Right, so that goes there, and as you can tell, I'm not speeding any of this up whatsoever. Right, we'll go in here with with that, I'm just going to take it in just a smidgen. No, I'm not with this, I'm not. Take it straight to the line, and then down here there's just that little bit. I don't mind doing it this way rather than keep getting the paper trimmer out because it takes up too much room. I'm saving up to get myself the Tim Holtz paper trimmer and the mini trimmer. So anyone that buys me a coffee or over on my coffee shop, I'm just putting that money to one side to treat myself to that. Right, so here I'm just going to fold that just a little bit. And just doing the same. There we go. And then I think that is just, again, just a little bit off the bottom there. Single signature journals are my favourite and my go-to. Alright, this is where I'm going to come in here. I might go in the back of that, but right now I'm just doing it this way. So that's my Edith Holden page. Saying that, actually, I might go and look for something that is just pure writing, because this is all green, purple, yellow and reds, and I'm going for a blue journal, so I'll be back. Right, so I've switching this one out for that one. It's got the month of August, which is perfect because this is August. We're halfway through August, but still, actually we're more than halfway through. What date is it today? The 18th, the 19th? Can't you remember? Alright, so I want that side that way. And again, your little folds. I used to like cut these bits off thinking like, oh, why do I want that? And now it's, I need that. I need it. Right, okay. And then this is where we've got two pieces left that I am yep. Yeah, I'm going to show you my cover, how to do my covers as well. Right, I want that there, yes. And then we have got, I might do that a little bit bigger. Just like so. Okay, right. These little bits, sorry if I sound all snuffly, I am all blocked up. They're harvesting all the fields and it's getting up my nose. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And to put that around the other way, yeah, I did. That's 11. Right, now to me, I've got an odd number and that's bothering me a little bit. So 11, let me, right, since one of these is going to be the cover, I may put, like, where did that one go? That's right in there. So just gonna do again another little like half page thing. And that will get used tags, pockets or something else. There we go. So that's me got 12 pages, which I'm happier with 12 pages. That's 12 pages, 24, 48 pages front and back we will have as the signature. So just gonna pop that on there in case any of it runs off. And I'm gonna come in with some cardstock. Let me just stretch over and get that. So I've been getting this from, I think it's B&M's, and obviously it's £2. The weight of it is 210 GSM. I don't know what that is in pounds. There's conversion charts online if anybody wants to go and check what that is. Now I cover the inside and the outside of this, and this is where I might decide, actually, before I get onto that, is like I might actually trim a little bit more off of that. So I'm just going to draw a little line off the bottom, because there's nothing, like there's no pockets or anything folded over, but if there is and you wanted to take more, be mindful of that. I don't know how sharp my blade is. Not very. Let me change that. In fact, I need to get into some of these. I've only got a few left. Whoops, don't want all of them. My son works for a painting and decorating company, and obviously they sell tools and stuff as well, and I normally get these. There's like 100 in these, and that's me down to my last one now. I bought that last year, so I normally get him to get me them, but he's been off a lot because I've just moved house. Oops, let's slide in there. And then obviously he's taken holiday as well to spend time with the kids during the holidays, so I need to get on to him. Probably do that in a minute, actually. Once I've done this video, I'll text him and say, please get me some blades. Right, anyway, so I just, because I want to make sure my signature, yeah, is not going to be bigger than my cover, so that's perfect. And that here is where sometimes I just eyeball it as well. So I'll leave a little smidgen of that side. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bit of shadowing in here. Excuse me. And like where the fold is, just put a little line. It's not gospel to put it right there, but when I go in, I'll take it to the nearest. So that's like 11.2 centimeters. I will take it to the 11.5 or the 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. Score that. 4.5. Did I say 4.5? Yeah. I mean, it was only like a millisecond ago and I forgot already. Don't even know if you can see that. There we go. Sorry. And for 11.5 centimeters, 4.5 inches. And can't get the blades for this trimmer. That's why I want the new paper trimmer, because Stampin' Up done us dirty. They've done us dirty. Now let me buy that a month before they discontinued it, and I couldn't get the blades. Right, so here you can choose to do that with any other papers. Sorry, my dog started barking then. Right, so you can choose to do it with like whatever papers you've got, but I'm just going to use some coffee dyed paper. I'm going to use some glue stick, and I'm just going to glue stick all of this. And I'll probably trim this down just a tad because the paper doesn't fit it. It's like by like a millimeter or something. Oops, I would suggest you put plenty of glue on this, because you don't want any air bubbles. And if you get air bubbles, then you can just put pockets or something on. Oh, this is really like thick. I think I've found over the last couple of months, where the weather's been so warm, this glides on. Very glidey, very sticky. Yeah, just make sure you get plenty on, or you could use a, you know, like a medium or something like that, like what do you call it? Like a wet, proper wet glue. Right, so I'm just going to make sure that that's down there at the bottom. You can see that little white piece up there. This is where I come in with like an old card and just smush it down like so. Yeah, I've got a little air bubble there. Oh no, it's gone down. There we go. And then we just trim this off. There we go. And we will just, I'm just going to scissor that off. My husband is out in the hallway and he's finishing off the stairs. It's been like, you could have painted like a bridge quicker. We'll say no more. He'll probably hear me saying this. Anyway, right, so that's that. And like I said, I wanted to use this, and there is going to be a gap. So what I might do is print another. Oh, where is that other one? No, it's not big enough. Might print another one off and just do it that way, because I'm going to put a piece of fabric down the spine anyway. So let me go and print another one off, because it is, and this was the biggest I could print that at for some reason. I don't know what that was all about. So yeah, I'm going to print 2 off, and I'm just going to put them on like that way and maybe that way. Okay, right, I've now got 2 of the, well, 2, another one printed off, that's what I mean, and I can put that on kind of any way I want, really. And I'm not going right up to that crease, which is there. So I'm not, because I've already got a piece of coffee dyed fabric. You can use whatever you like, or you can, if your paper is big enough, you don't, you know, you can go right over the whole lot. And if you don't want to use that, you don't have to. So I'm just looking what I want more of. Kind of think I want, let's see. I know it's the same paper. Yeah, right. I think I know what I'm doing now. And plenty of glue. Use whatever glue you like. Right, definitely plenty of glue on the oh, I don't know, yeah, on the cover. Right, it's such a mess already. Just smush that down, and then we will put plenty of glue on here. Running out of glue. This is my last stick. So 1 minute I've got loads, and the next minute it's like, where did it all go? And then I look back and think, well, you've made about 20 journals, so where do you think it's gone? Right. Plenty on the cover. I'm going to stitch around this as well. There we go. Right. Just about there. Yeah, there's a little air bubble there. And then I'm just going to take all that off. Right, so keep all these little bits. These be good as like putting them around your pages, maybe turn them down a little bit so they look like kind of washi tape. And these again, pockets, tags, they will get used. Right, so in with this. So we want a piece of fabric on there, and I'm going to use, I lost the actual top for this, and I've had like a top from something else sitting on it, so I don't know if it's actually all blocked up. No, it's not. It's worked. And yeah, it's a little bit clogged up. Just going to use a paper clip here. I think I may have thrown it in the bin because it's like such a tiny little white, like just kind of sits over the top of that. And if it's been sat with a lot of cut-offs, it could have quite easily went in the bin. There we go. Oh, there's a bit in there, I can tell. Right, let me go sort that out. That's that sorted. So the rest of that's probably dry now. It's a nice hot day again here. Right, and then I'm just gonna smush that down a little bit. And we shall put this on. Kind of keep that straightened up and in line with something so that I've got a good idea of where it's going. There we go. I think that's okay. Nope, that needs there. There we go. And we shall just trim that off. And I have to let all that dry because I'm going to run it through the machine. There we go. If you need to go back in, like around the sides there, like just with a little bit of glue, now's the time. And yeah, if you're going to stitch around your cover, please I've just seen a little bit of string in there. There we go, look, can you see that? Cheeky. There we go. Please let your glue dry before you put it through your machine. Otherwise your washing machine, I was gonna see, this is why I do voiceovers. Talk a lot of rubbish. Your sewing machine. So yeah, now I need to go and change what colour have I got in there at the moment? I've got white and I want to do black because I want everything to pop in this journal with the blue, and you don't really see the white. So that will probably take about 10-15 minutes. I will stitch around it and I'll come back. Before I go and stitch around this, just always double check that your signature is going to fit in it nicely, like so, like that. That side seems a little bit longer than that side, but I'm not fussed. Or am I? Might have to trim like a slither just down there. Just a slither, I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, definitely need to do a slither down there. I'm blaming the fact that the camera's overhead. Sometimes I can't see properly. I'm blind. Right, so we shall do that now. Try and keep that straight. Right. See, it actually looks okay, but it's just a sliver. There we go, just like that. See? Perfect now. Right, so I'm still waiting for that to dry, but I just thought I'd mention that, just make sure. And then if you did have to trim like a sliver off of this, you can do. Okay, so it's dry, it's stitched. That's my front, that's my back. And the reason I'm going to remember that is because there's a little birdie down in that corner. Right, so here is where I go in with my ruler. If you don't have a ruler with a center thingy, then just work it out that, I mean, this is 8 1/4, so you will find your 4 1/8 to the middle and mark. Whoops, made a right racket then, sorry. Now I've got cotton stuck to my finger. So I just find the center point. I'm doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, Then I'll do it at 2. You can do 5 holes if you wish. I just do 2. I mean 3. Right, and this is where I will need, you can use an awl or you can just use a big fat needle, and I use a big fat needle. Okay, I do have an awl somewhere. Where is it? It's here. But for me, I find that it actually goes through too much, and I always end up with the holes like thicker than I actually want them, so I just use this and poke it through. And I think that is still a little bit wet there. Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's my 3 holes. And then I am going to stitch some of these pages like down the sides and stuff before I actually put them in, but I am going to show you like I do exactly the same here as well. So what you want to do is make sure all your pages are the right way around, because that helps. They are centered how you want them to be centered, like here. I just kind of want to move that a little bit so there's kind of even pieces of coffee dyed paper at the top and bottom. That's just me. And then there, you can clip these as well. I'll show you in a minute. I don't always do it. I've done these videos before, but it's always good to kind of come back and recap on them. I've got a few of these, like putting your signatures together. Now you can come in with, right, where have they gone? I had a big bundle of clips here. Separating them all the other day. What's happened here? Right, doesn't really matter what colour they are. Okay, so just find them and you can clip them at the top or at the bottom, because that one's not actually covering it. So what we'll do is put it around the other way. Okay, that way, so the big part actually clips it in. And you can do the same to the other side, like that, but I'm not going to do that because it's not how I work. Right, but you can do that just to hold it all in place. I just hold it all in place with my hands, and I use my pencil again. And then this is actually 8 inches, so the 4 and the 4 on the ruler, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom, the 0 of the ruler in the middle, and mark. So like I said when I was doing the cover, just find your center point and measure 2 inches up, or 1.25 inches, whatever you want it to be. You could do 2.5 if you wanted, as long as there's a good amount of space. That's what I look at it with here with the 8 inches. There's your center point, 2 inches, 2 inches. That's what I find is okay for me. And then I hold it with my hands like that, and I just simply put that through, and it seems to work for me every time. And in, lay it round, push that down, and it works. Whilst that's still in there, spin that around, because don't take it out in case anything moves. Back in here, push down, and we have got our holes in there. We'll still need a needle in a minute, but what I'm going to go and do is just do some decorative stitching down some of the pages, and then I'll come back. Okay, everything has, well, not everything's been sewn, but I've sewn the pages that I want to sew, and I don't do every page. Try to do every other page or wherever it kind of seems like it looks okay. So I've done the first page, little bit on the second. Now when it comes to adding tabs, which obviously I will not be doing on this, I'm just showing you the signature, I will make my tabs and then actually sew on them and glue them on as well. So that's another option you can have. And at this point here, these are freaking me out because they're way too long. I'm just going to go in and chop them. just down a little bit because I don't know whether I'm going to keep them or not. Right, so where have I put my cover? So my cover's here. Signature's done. I'm going to need, this is some wax linen thread, and it's not very waxy, but cut off quite a bit of that, so it's like 1, 2, about 3, because we don't want to not have enough. And I've got this beeswax, which I am just gonna run down the length of that, do that a good couple of times. To me it just helps. And I'm going to put that through there, and I go in through the middle. You can start you can start from the middle of your signature, you can start from the outside and work your way through. I always I've seen people do that when they want their tails hanging out the back and to maybe put beads on, but I like to go in this way. And because I've taken all the there we go, got through a majority of that. So feed it all through, and stitching is just an option, you don't have to stitch. And then we found that there. Okay, so, and then I just go in through there, pull it through, leave a good bit, because I don't want to pull, you know, when you're kind of pulling it through the other side and then it all comes out the middle. Right, in through there. And this is where sometimes obviously you'll have to go through a page or a few pages at a time, like I am here. And sometimes you're lucky and it goes through all of them. That's happened before. Not very often, but it has happened. It's just part of the process. And believe it or not, this is the bit I hate. I love doing the cover, well, the base of the cover, the signatures, finding the papers. I love decorating it, I love filling it. I hate actually sewing in the signatures, especially when you're doing a big journal and there's like 3, 4 and 5 signatures. Hate it. If I could pay someone to do it, I would. Right, and try not for your needle to go through and split this as you go through, because it's a pain in the butt and you have to bring it out and start all over again. Like I've just nearly done that on the other side, and it does happen. So let me tuck that in. So that's that, and then just pull it, not too tight because we don't want to rip the papers, but make sure it's secure. And then in through there. Some people go in the middle, down one end. They do it different ways. I've seen people do it different ways. This is how I do it. There's more than one way to do certain things. I was going to say like skin a cow, whatever it is they say, but that sounded wrong and I've still said it on camera, so there we go. But I wouldn't normally say that. There is more than one way, and if you find a way for you, you do it your way. There is no right and no wrong, as long as it's secure. So this is when you look at the back and think, right, that's, you know, you haven't got like a big bit sticking out like that, and if you have, you'll have to pull that in, and then pull that, just so that it's all nice and tight, but not overly tight. Okay, there we go. Now I did do a bit too much, so I'm trimming it off there. That will get used for something, and so will that, so I keep that, and that goes in a little pot in my drawer. Okay, and I have no idea what I'm going to be doing on the cover yet, but that is how we do a cover. Well, that's how I do a cover. I'm just going to put that on to keep it closed. A simple little signature with, what did I say that was, 12, 24, 48 sides. You can trim off all the cotton, half pages. I would, well, you'll see when I do the flip through of this, when I've finished it, you'll see how I've decorated it. And if there's anything new that I find whilst I'm making the journal, I'll do a little craft with me on there. I only do things that I think, oh, not that I've come up with it, or I've seen something like someone else has done and I thought it's like a wicked idea. I'll do it and do my little version of it. Little flip. I love little flips. Makes it interesting, doesn't it, when it becomes, you know, a page can become more than just, you know, two sides, a flip and a pocket and everything else. So there we go. If you do have any questions, if something that wasn't clear, just ask. The whole measurement of this is 4.5 by 8, say just shy of 8 1/4, and you've seen the page sizes. They are 8, no, just shy of 8 by, that's my dog's barking now, 4 1/4, and that's you got a little signature. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'd appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this, left a comment. You can share this, show other people this if you find that it could be interesting to them. I would appreciate that. It just kind of helps with my channel. So thanks again. Bye for now.